The Watchfund International Destiny Tournament Qualifiers, where teams from Asia, Europe, and North America came together to fight it out. To start, Xbox boys over Mordacity, ego boosting with the win on Analysis. Tears pulls out a tough 3-2 win over Reside, and here's Imagine That as they cruise to an easy 3-0 win against Sinister. Next up, 4 of the 6 non-seeded Asian teams are knocked out in one fell swoop by the Monsters, Animosity, Botcha Doddle Do, and 2 Athletic, with Sabel being the only team to win a round out of the bunch. 2 Athletic had a pretty easy run through the first round, swapping to some longer range weapons in the beginning to deal with some slower play. After that, it was the Trials Lords, We Have an Admin, Ordain, and Shabazz who would take the wins, only dropping 2 games between the 4 of them. Here's a closer look at Shabazz. Wrapping up the opening round, we had Pinnacle, Shatter intact, Focus Up taking down Day and Age, Shields down, Defying Defiant, and here is a closer look at the UK boys versus False Hope. UK boys took the match 3-1, dropping a Supremacy round but taking the rest to advance. Round 2, and the Xbox boys knock out Tears 3-0, meaning that there's only 1 Asian team remaining in the tournament. And let's take a closer look at ego boosting off of first round wins versus Imagine That. Imagine That takes the first game, but ego boosting takes the next 2 in a row, meaning that they're just 1 game away from the final round. But hey, Imagine That. They overcome that score deficit and pull out the win 3-2. Next, Botcha Doddle Do knocks out one of the only 4 remaining EU teams, while 2 Athletic has a tough go of it against the Monsters. 2 Athletic find themselves playing a much tougher team than their last match, and after barely pulling out the first game win, they drop the next. Third match ends up being tied, so it's got to be replayed. In the replay, the Monsters take it, going up 2-1. 2 Athletic finally figures out the Monster style, though, and they take the next 2 in a row to win 3-2 and advance. The Trials Lords knock another EU team out of the running despite them having an admin, and the 2 North American teams Ordain and Shabazz meet in what would be a somewhat one-sided 3-0 for Shabazz. And we've gone from 6-2 to none as our final Asian team, Shields Down, gets knocked out of the running 3-1 by Focus Up. Meanwhile, the final 2 European teams are in a face-off as the UK boys take on Pinnacle. Lambie popped out that Mida for a few range shots. The UK boys take it 3-1. Final round. Imagine That takes on the Xbox boys. Imagine That has the hype for the game in chat, but they just can't seem to pull it together until they find themselves down 2-0 and facing the 3-0 elimination. Imagine That pulls themselves together though and pulls off the reverse sweep for their second 3-2 victory in a row and advances to the finals. Next up, 2 Athletic faces off against Botcha Doddle Do. They trade rounds back and forth for the first 3 rounds, with 2 Athletic on the losing end of that. But in the 4th round, 2 Athletic starts to click. They win by 3,000 points in that round and use the momentum to carry them to the 3-2 win, advancing to the finals. Shabazz found themselves in yet another close 3rd round match, but after some back and forth found themselves coming out victorious over the Trials Lords with the 3-2 win. Our last match finds the only remaining EU team, the UK boys, up against the North American Focus Up. The UK boys take it in a 3-0 sweep, even dealing with some unintended lag abilities. So, the 4 teams moving on to the finals to meet our 4 pre-seeded teams will be Imagine That, 2 Athletic, Shabazz, and the UK boys. Congratulations and good luck in the finals.